Hi everyone, welcome back to the Great Grad Job Hunt. My name is Aman and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about video interviews. Most recently had a video interview myself, so I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about how that went, as well as give you a few bits of advice and a few tips on how you can best prepare for yours. So, video interviews are becoming increasingly popular amongst recruiters nowadays. A lot more employers are using them to filter out between graduates, so chances are you're probably going to come across them when you start applying for your graduate jobs, but that's no problem. So there are two main types of video interview. You've got your Skype interview, which is a face-to-face interview with another person, and you've got your pre-recorded interviews where generally you're given a question which is pre-recorded and then you've got a certain time frame to deliver your answer. Now there generally isn't that much difference on how you can prepare for both of them, so I'm going to give you a few tips and things that I did personally that helped me with my interview. Okay. So, first thing you want to do is practice. Now, it may be a bit daunting, you may feel a little bit nervous being in front of a camera, but you can easily practice at home. Just turn on your laptop camera and just get comfortable with yourself being in front of a screen and just talk to yourself or practice saying what you would say in an interview. Now, one thing you want to be careful with is that when you're in front of the camera, you don't want to spend too much time looking at the screen itself. You'd rather want to look at the camera instead, because then it shows to your interviewer that you're rather giving the attention to yourself than to the interviewer, and it can be pretty distracting for the person that's interviewing you. Also, make sure that you've got good posture. Sit up straight, don't slouch too much, or don't, cross your arms, because you'll be assuming a defensive position. So it's very important to enunciate your words. Now, the feedback I got from my video interview is that I tended to speak just a little bit quickly, which is something you guys might have picked up on from my previous videos. You want to make sure you speak loudly, that you speak clearly, and that your words are heard, because your employer may get the impression that you're slightly nervous, or you're perhaps just lacking confidence, or they just generally might not hear what you have to say. So speak loudly, speak clearly, and make sure that your voice and your words are heard. But obviously don't speak too slowly. Also, make sure that you're in a well-lit room. So either arrange your interviews during the day if you can, or if possible, what I would do with my video interviews is that I would do them at night and have all the lights switched on instead so you can see my face. So make sure you're in a well-lit room, make sure that your face isn't obscured by the shadow or by darkness, and that you've got a relatively clean background. You also want to make sure that you dress professionally. Now, you may be in the comfort of your own home, so it doesn't mean you have to wear your pajamas or a hoodie. Make sure you're dressed appropriate to the job you're applying for. So smart business attire, wear a suit for example, and all of that, and you should be fine. It's really important that you also have a very professional Skype username. Now, your employer's not going to get a very good impression if they interview you and they start calling Batman 101 at Skype. No, you want either your name, possibly a surname, and something that's professional so it gives a good impression. Okay, so the most important thing for your interview obviously is to prepare. So what I did was that I googled the company I was applying for, followed by video interview questions, and you try that and you'd be surprised at how many results you get of people who've posted the previous interview questions online. Now there's a fantastic website called glassdoor.co.uk or .com. We'll post the link below for you guys, and on there, if you sign up and you register, which is free, you'd be given access to a lot of previous interview questions, and there are actually a really great way to prepare and have your own personalized response to those questions, so you can go in a lot more confident in having prepared. But one thing that I absolutely have to stress the importance of is that you shouldn't really over prepare. Now, what happened with my video interview was that I had a pre-recorded time to deliver my answer, and I had over-prepared and got all the information possible, which would have taken me probably 3 or 4 minutes to say, but I only had a 1-minute time period in which to deliver my answer to that question. So you've got to be careful, and what I tended to do is that I tried to get everything possible that I prepared into that 1-minute answer, and because of that I ended up speaking too quickly, I was rushing my words, and it didn't give the best impression to the interviewer. I mean, the interview went well for me, fortunately I passed it, but it was a great piece of constructive criticism that I really want to pass on to you guys and to give you a bit of advice with. So if you've prepared for a certain question and you know what you're going to say, don't feel the need to squeeze absolutely everything into that 1 minute or however long you've got, because then you're saying too much, your interviewer won't hear what you're saying, and you'll be rushing your words. So I was told personally, you only need to say a few of the things that you've prepared. You don't need to squeeze everything in. So it's essentially one of those quality over quantity moments, really. So yeah, but yeah, you don't want to overwhelm the interviewer with information anyway. So that's another piece of advice. Also, with pre-recorded interviews, and even where I applied and where I had my most recent video interview, was that you can actually have notes handy. So you can even stick post-its on your laptop if you want, or on your laptop screen, but don't have too much writing and stuff nearby, because then you're going to be looking and you're going to be reading from them, and your employer is going to be able to tell, or your interviewer will be able to tell that you're reading from a sheet. So if you want, have a few buzzwords and a few keywords that will help trigger your points and what you're going to say, and that would be a great way for you just to keep your answers handy. But anyway, those are generally the few of the things that I had to share with you. I'll be posting more if you need any help. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. I'll be more than happy to answer them. And again, I wish you guys all the best on your search for your graduate job. Thank you.